responsible of what he has done and to come back on mainstream. What is happening now is when he is punished, he or she is punished, there is a big possibility of him being taken away from the system, even if there's expulsion and all that.
Yeah,
so it should be a system where like holistic education, as somebody was saying just now, the education should cater to make these children understand why and how they are wrong, and to involve them in decision making, to bring them back keep them in school rather than to take them off the system.
Well, I think then I got what you were saying, and I'll explain how regimentation works. Then probably, if we agree that by the word regimentalization, both of us mean the same thing, then the problem is solved, right? Okay, so let's say there's a kid who is constantly doodling, right, on the corner of a notebook, even when the teacher is teaching. Maybe he's listening, that's his way of listening, but the teacher is saying, look at me. And when he doesn't do it, she says, now you will stand up on the bench, for example. The next day he doesn't do it. Not because he realizes why, but because he doesn't want to stand up on the bench. Right? So essentially, imagine this in the army. Okay? So you're supposed to wear tight belts. So the sergeant comes, tries to put a finger into your belt, it goes in, he pulls you and says, now, 1,500 meters. You run with your bag and come back. And the next day, no matter what you feel like, you tighten your belt. Without questions. Because you're asked to be in a certain manner. If you fail, then there is punishment and reward. Isn't that what you meant? That's what I meant by regimentalization. You raise a regiment because you have a mold and say kids will have to be like this. I mean, it's not just the teachers and the education system. That's what happens at home. If I come to your house, probably you will tell your kid, you know, meet Bala uncle. Can you recite that poem for him? Right? I don't know. Most people do that, right? Okay. Yeah. The kids are entertainers, right? And we don't even pay them for that. Because we think the kid is supposed to do that. I agree.
You want something else, right? Character building.
Yeah.
I don't think enough is emphasized on character building. We have moral as a subject, but that's all, you know, again.
Okay. So should I cover this in overall development? Yeah? Because if we go more specific in that, then there's no end to it. Because the next question would be, what is good character? And that is tough, right? Okay, so all of these are problems. We'll come back to this. Yes.
Well, maybe I do not know whether it's a problem or not. But
okay.
Education is becoming a system and profit oriented.
Commercialization. Yeah, it's becoming a business. I know what you have in mind, Yogi. He's saying next time don't charge for this class. Right? Isn't that so? What's your name?
Yu Sheng.
Yu Sheng, right? You. So Yu Sheng says, make this free. We will say, okay, it's free, but you have to have breakfast with us, and the breakfast will cost 100 ringgits. Then you'll be fine. I know. It's a problem that especially the government thinks is a big problem. In all the countries, government is saying education is becoming a business and it's not good, right? That's what the government is saying. Okay, we'll come to that. So, for a minute, we will stop with identifying problems in education and go to classical liberalism, right? And come back to this place finally and see whether we have solutions for this. Is that okay? Okay, so half of you have not attended any class on classical liberalism, the other half has. So if we have to summarize, those of us who have attended the class have to summarize for those who have not in say 10 minutes time, so that everybody is on the same plane for the rest of the day. I think it'll be great. Do you agree? Okay. So those of you who attended the class, can you please put up your hand? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Irfan?
Sorry?
Did you attend the class last week?
Oh, no.
No. Gabriela, you did. Okay. 10. So we have 10 points in this class for classical liberalism. Okay? Should we start with you, ma'am? I forgot your name. Reda. Yes, Reda. What is classical liberalism? I mean, you don't have to really, unlike education problems, I won't insist a lot on how you phrase it till the time there is no confusion in it. Because I know that, it can be confusing and you've just had 1 week of class. Yeah.
It's like free speech and mutual tolerance.
Free speech. She says free speech is a part of classical liberal thought. Anybody who does not agree with this? Okay, so I'm going to give you a small example. I ask you, what is the difference between a textbook and a novel? So you tell me, in textbooks, you have pages and pages of printed material. Suppose I ask you the difference between a textbook and a novel, and you say, in a textbook, you have pages and pages of printed material. Would that be sufficient to differentiate? Reda? Would it be sufficient to differentiate? Could you explain this to her?